Hey you, so on this video, best coins to invest in or best British coins to invest in, I'm going to be going over or answering a question, giving my own my own points, loosely touching upon which ones I see are better. So I was recently asked about what was the best investment. So I have all of what was asked about. It was between the new craze of the 50p's, the long running and standing British sovereigns when we're looking at one set here, and then you have the Britannia. So it's a lot of things or questions that some may ask, and it's going to be from one of these classes really. Technically it's only should be between these two here. There are other coins that people tend to take a liking to, whether it's £5 coins, sovereigns, £2 coins, but the craze lately seems to be these 50p's. So this is old coinage and some special designs, but I'll go into them, and using this as a prime example, I think it's one of the best 50p sets out, and definitely one anybody would want to lock on to. So using that, but what was in question was one of the licensed ones. So you could think of the Hawkins when it comes to that. Technically the 50p's don't have like a range of their own. Anything could be slapped on a 50p piece. It really depends. You could have the Peter Rabbits not on a 50p. So I'll just use these as a modern equivalent of one of the Royal Mint coins if you wanted to be getting into, and that's going to be these 50p's. So as mentioned, it's going to be between the sovereigns, the Britannias, and the new wave of gold proof 50p's. Everything I'm going to be pointing out and speaking on also has a silver counterpart. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe the sovereigns have a long running standing current silver counterpart. So depending on who you ask, that could be a good or a bad thing. Got a lot of background noise going on. The kids are on holiday now, so you'll hear them screaming out and about. Some work's going on next door. So as mentioned, I was asked what was the best. Now, putting this up front straight away, it's going to be subjective on who you speak and ask. So I'd definitely like to hear anybody watching this video what your thoughts and opinions are on which ones you like, and I'll just give my pros and cons on why, and being a modern day cowboy collector slash flipper, my thoughts and opinions on them. So using this representing the entire sovereigns, I'll touch up on this first. So this is going to be sovereigns in general. Now for me, getting into sovereigns, I don't go too far back if it's not a big massive secret. So I like to stick with what I know. So it's going to be more modern. I'd say give or take 100 years. And this is definitely something that falls into that category. So we've got the 2012 sovereign, special design sovereign set here. So this is the £5 sovereign. Now, what I would say on these, and especially since I've been collecting them, is that I feel like if I was going to give a straight answer to the question, what is the best investment type of coins to get from the British Royal Mint, or the best British types, I'm going to say gold, as it's showing here and only has no silver counterpart. I would put the sovereigns first. Why? Because I think they have a longer history. I think they have definitely a bigger worldwide appeal when we're talking coins here. And I think they have a plus in that they don't have the negatives of the Britannias that we'll get into. So you get the standard year date run as of recent, I'd say since the 90s. You're getting the standard sovereigns, the standard sovereigns. You've got your older ones that I've recently been speaking to someone about. I believe the 1937's doing massive things right now. But if you're working up from the 1989 upwards, then there's going to be a few on the hit list of the special designs. I don't know if they're doing a jubilee or a diamond or celebrating something. You'll be getting your standard ones that are in demand. It's going to be this 2012. And then you're going to be looking at the 2002, 2005, the 2017. The plus side I've seen to that is that you normally get your everyday average drab pickups, so the ones that always standard by default come out, and then you get more of a hype rush and a push when you get one of these special designs. Now, it coming from the Royal Mint, well-established, prestigious mint, and it being from a strong heritage of coins, really does work in its favor when you get a special design. Good or bad, it's a special design. I mean, that's the pro right there. So it's definitely worth jumping on board. For me personally, since I recently turned onto the sovereigns, my game plan and plan of attack has been to focus on the special designs. I backtracked to get all of these. I didn't pay crazy amounts on the majority of them, but I feel they offer the best long-term and short-term opportunities. The prices on these are not crazy from takeoff, and even when you're flipping them, depending on what you're looking for. This is all the pros I'm speaking on each individual set here, and just even class of coins. So I would say them not having a special design every year that I'll be touching upon on the Britannias works in its favor. Them being the well-established long-running coins, you can get sovereigns from many other countries, also do some form of a sovereign, also I think works in its favor. It's got the largest worldwide recognition, I would say. So I think these are the pros in the sovereign range. I'd say of the ones I've recently picked up that I was heavily involved in would have been the 2017 straight off the bat. They're doing okay, but one thing I've seen with the sovereigns is, even looking at some that can still be picked up depending on how you view it, is give them time to mature, and some need time to mature even if it's on a special design. This wasn't technically, it was a special design, it was a revamped, so it was a remake, but you know, if it would have been a standalone special design, would it be just as good? Royal Mint seem to be taking mintages lower, so that seems to be the spice of the day for them. The next one I think will do just as well. What you're going to get is an instant sellout, you know, low mintages numbers. From the olders, if you work from 1989, had a lot higher mintages. So I see a lot more opportunity. How I view the modern sovereigns now are just I'm active on the special design. So I see these as the better pick of all three. Now, I'm saying that in terms of long-term hold. Plus side as well, that it's only coming in gold is also a plus. As I mentioned, that could be a good or a bad thing for a certain individual. The cons, I would say, is sometimes sovereigns can get dragged around when it just has the standard usual releases where you're just dealing with a change of date, for instance, or something along those lines. That can really miff off some people. They may want to see more or less. It can be classed as oversaturating, but if you're not buying into that, then hey ho, you know, 25 years from now, 30 years from now, if you're willing to hold that long, it could do just as good as a lot of the older sovereigns are doing right now. That's not something I really want to play on. This is why I focus more on the special design years moving forward. But for somebody involved, it may not offer as much opportunity, but I think that levels it out personally, and that's what I've personally seen. Them having the balance is what really gives it its appeal now, as opposed to the Britannias, which I'll touch on now. So once again, these are just my rough outlooks and short pros and cons on them, and why I see one could be a better investment if you wanted to get into it, whether it was going to be a long-term hold or just a quick, you know, flip. It's all on the individual. Looking at the Britannias are different. Once again, anybody's going to be, you can run across anybody and they'll either be a heavy sovereign collector or heavy Britannia collector. It's going to be one of those two. Those are going to be the top two. The Britannias, from what I've seen since I've been in the game and picking these up, the plus side to these is these come in silver. So for anybody that thought gold was too much, even though you can get these in a fraction of the size, the majority of designs also come with a silver counterpart. That could be a plus once again. The problem I've found with the Britannias, and this is going to be, when did they come out? I think they came out around 1987. But I think it was 1997 they started doing special design on the proofs. The problem with that is that they come with a special design, so the design changes yearly. I couldn't mention they've kept the design or remixed one, but I found personally, once again extremely subjective here, is that if it's not a hit, and what determines a hit is the big question here, then what you get is technically no different than any other collector coin. You could be looking at something like the Kookaburras. We're talking on something like that. The Lunas, you know what you're getting. It's going to be the same animal, but from a new, drawn from a new angle or something like that. With this, it creates that, you know, tension of what's it going to be, when it drops, and it may be like fall flat on its face. From what I understand, somebody was mentioning in the comments that this wasn't a massive hit upon takeoff, so it's all hit and miss. Personally, if you gave me the opportunity to purchase any Britannia now from the old years to date, I would only lock in on this one. You know, there's some designs I like more than others, but it's nothing massive there. And I think all out from a crowd favorite perspective, this 2014 would be the best going to date. So, you know, Royal Mint have opportunities to either work along the lines of bringing this out. Now, they have remixed this for anybody thinking, don't worry, they'll bring it back out. They did bring this in the £50 for 50 coins, so they brought it out in silver as another edition. But this, from what I've seen and also been hunting about, is the hardest to come about and also the most desirable. So you can really get peak prices for this. A lot of the older ones can still be picked up. If, you know, a bit of searching, they can still be found here and there. But I see that as the downside, believe it or not. The fact that they change every year, and the fact that no one really knows what makes a coin a hit. If it was as simple as drawing Britannia in this type of position and, you know, putting in the globe in the background and the likes of, I don't know why the Royal Mint haven't replicated it or tried to duplicate that. But this was a massive hit. I say since then, every year has been personal preference, whether you've liked every year or not. I will say the recent years, as time of releasing this video, so we got the 2018 and 2019, I thought were very strong designs. In fact, I thought 2018 was a hit. I wasn't actively involved because I was locking in my Proof Sovereign sets, but I believe it was a massive hit. It was a real nice design. 2018, 2019, very similar. Kind of shocked that it hasn't gone on to do massive things, but like I said, somebody mentioned the same happened with the 2014 at one point. So who knows? But I do think 2018 was a very nice year. Didn't lock in, but I could easily put that as my second favorite. And I've mentioned I like the 2008 as well. It took a little while to grow on me. So that's the plus side. Well, I could say that was the plus and the negative, depending on who you're asking. You do get the coins out on a different image each year. You know, maybe Royal Mint have really covered a lot of angles when it comes to the Britannias, I see, because you'll get the standard Britannia design and then you'll get a special design. So you're supposed to look at it. I believe it's because it comes out in so many different flavors. This is what really mixes things up. Whereas the Sovereigns, you know what you're really getting. It's coming out in one metal. Whereas with the Britannia, you're getting it in silver, and you're getting it in gold proof, then you're getting it in the BU, then you're getting the standard edition run where they make slight variations that they do on the BU. So it's put a lot of options up there, and then it's whether it's a hit or miss on the design. And it depends on who you ask. You know, anybody and everybody can look at something, can see something totally opposite or different than somebody else. So it's really up there. But as mentioned, looking at these, if you're in it just for the sake of collecting, you love them, once again, that's going to be the case with all of these, then you've got nothing to worry about. But if you're asking what's been the best investment or what you should put your money towards, here's just my little pros and cons towards them. I would say a con on the Britannias is just that sometimes they can go a bit too far out there. Was it the 2017? You know, depending on who you ask, once again. So it's a lot of opinions when the releases are dropped, and there is no special hype like with the Sovereigns, for instance. So it's going to be a special Jubilee or Diamond, ta-da-da. You know you're going to be getting a different design every year, and then it's really a case of just looking and seeing what's there. The Royal Mint are doing a lot more when it comes to mixing and matching with the mintages. It's all they really have to play with when it comes to these Britannia coins, as if the design isn't a massive takeoff, and then, you know, they just need to highlight that it's got a lot less coins than the last or the previous year had. So that's what they really do there. So Britannias are easily placed behind the Sovereigns, either for flipping potential on a special date or even for long-term appreciation potential. Then we get into the new wave of Royal Mint 50p coins, what was inquired about, and we're looking at ones like this. Easily could be the Gruffalos, also putting them out there. I think these have found a new home for themselves. They're on a roll. They've got a lot of momentum. I love the 50p's in general, so I think it's real cool, real nice. These you could technically class as, you know, the modern wave, and is it worth putting your money into these, or should you go with something with more heritage and strength behind them? It's really going to be a hit or miss, really, because you've got something like the Gruffalo, and I wouldn't put these in the same category as the Gruffalo. Although, yes, they are both 50p's, I would say this stands out above the Gruffalo status, and that I see it as more prestigious and has a lot more history to it and will go a lot further, especially containing the infamous Kew Garden coins. Now, they've brought this set out before, and I believe they've done it. It was what was it, 12 or 13 coins in the entire set, and it was priced a little more. I think they was very smart this time round, splitting the pack up. I believe they're going to be bringing out the remainder of the coins. If they do, if they don't, it's not going to really make a difference, because a lot of people, and even the Royal Mint themselves, if you look at the advertising for this set, they use the Q as the big drive, you know, and this is what a lot of people would have been aiming for. So I would have said, if you was going to be picking up this set, whether it's the second release of this that they release in gold, a limited 75 edition, this is going to be the main one you want. And you know, you only need to look at the Royal Mint and the advertising they used selling this, and that was highlighting the coup, the coup, the coup. If you own this set, short side note, I would say them recently dropping the Kew Gardens in the same set, in, you know, Brilliant Uncirculated, you're not going to really be affected. It's going to be affecting those that collect the coup, that either in the silver, maybe it could have some small effect to you, or even in the BU. Whereas this will always be in a class of its own when you're looking at something like this, especially with the mintage numbers. I think this is the best because of the low mintage number and, you know, the free dates on it. So regardless of, this is why I'm using this set here as an example of the modern ones. With this, the pros are you're getting a modern coin, the Royal Mint know to highlight the mintage and put in there what everybody's going to want to see, and that's going to be the Kew Gardens. Highlighting points are you're getting the free dates on the coin, so you have the 2019, and then also, well, looking at this one here, you're going to have the, what are we at, 59 to 2009, I believe, when it was officially came out. So these are highlights of coins like this. It's hit and miss, but I would say if you want more strength, given an overall view on all of them now, in terms of picking something up, it having instant flippability, which is what I've been raving on about recently, and then, you know, it only maturing and getting stronger and stronger, then definitely look at the sovereigns. This is just from my own point of view. Once again, would love to hear either somebody more experienced or just somebody that's been flipping about with these, or a hardcore collector. If you want to take more of a chance and then see what it's going to do, and, you know, join the journey from the beginning, these still have fantastic flippability from takeoff, fantastic. I think this set and other ones like this, we were talking about the Hawkins coin, or some more of the gold ones that have recently, the Snowman coin. These coins, as long as they don't oversaturate them and bring out releases after releases, I can see having a fantastic long-term run, even with an instant flip. The Britannias really, I wouldn't want to put behind the new modern 50p's, but if it's a lagging design, and once again we can't determine or know how that comes about, you know, you can like it, but if the crowd don't take to it, then you've got what you've got. Then with the Britannias, you'll normally be able to pick them up on release on the secondary market from secondary sellers, dealers even, slightly cheaper than the Royal Mint. That's never a good sign, but I wouldn't write it off. Once again, as mentioned, apparently this one didn't really take off to a massive hit out the park straight away. But, you know, then you have the midterm where you can find them. Some people may break them up. A lot of these you'll find broken up. And then you have more of the long term. If it wasn't a massive big hit or gone on to really grow well, you may be able to pick up a lot cheaper on the secondary market. Whereas this one, finding this in the sets is very hard to come across. So they've all found happy homes. But it's only, I would say, one out of a large amount. Then we'll have to see what the rest do. So if I was going to answer your question, I would easily put the Sovereigns first, special year designs, easily, just because of what they are and the benefits they offer straight away. Sometimes even on a special design, you may just need to give it some time to heat up, but these are heating up very nicely. It could take anywhere 5-10 plus years with Sovereigns, but if you can make a quick buck off of them straight off picking up, if that's your game, they're easily there to be done in gold. Another plus, only coming out in gold. And just it also having the qualities of appreciating over time on top of the gold value. if you're getting the right 50p set, it technically falls into the special year design sovereigns, in my opinion, just from holding them, selling them, and just seeing what they're doing as time goes along. You know, there's not really too much you can do. Yes, they can bring out more gold coins or 50p coins containing the coup and a lot of these other new designs, but I think the Royal Mint are touching upon the gold sit in a class of their own. The silver and the brilliant circulated are the ones that they can really just start taking the mickey with. And then when it comes to the Britannias, it's really hit and miss. You know, you really want to strike good, strong striking design. But I'll put it as a 50-50. So it'd easily be first, it's going to be the sovereigns if you want to put your money into something. Either backdate if you can find your money, or find good prices, or wait for special year designs. Look at your 50p's, you're going to be getting into them, pick which ones you're going to get into. Some believe it's just a fad, it's here today, gone tomorrow. I don't believe that's the case. I think the gold ones do well and appreciate well. And then with Britannia's, it's business as usual. I think what the Royal Mint have to play with there is either bringing out a design where they either copycat one that's either done fantastically well, or just keep dropping the mintages where you see a pretty decent design and think that's a low enough mintage, whereas, you know, as time goes by, it's only going to go up in price. So just do a bit of more research when you get into the Britannia, because those are the ones that you could really pick up and not see a lot of action with, depending on how it goes. But that's just my opinion on the current top collector coins when we're talking stuff from the Royal Mint, and it's going to be the big three that people normally ask about. You're either a big collector of the sovereigns or the Britannias, then you got the £2 and the break-offs from there, and then along came these new 50p craze coins. So it'd be fantastic to hear your thoughts and opinions on these coins, guys, and which ones you think are better for a quick flip, you know, for a medium flip, and for the long-term hold. And do you prefer, you know, silver as opposed to all of these? So now you're getting the 50p's also in silver, and the Britannias in silver. So your thoughts and opinions on that will also be fantastic, guys. So I'm going to wrap this one up. So go ahead, hate or love it, let me know what you think. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys in the rebound.